Hey, Gabby! Hi.
Hi.
So after years and years and years and years of waiting, even though I was kind of late to the party seeing Hey Arnold, Hey Arnold Jungle movie, he came out
Yes.
last Friday, last Friday. And before we talk about the movie, let's actually talk about our kind of background on Hey Arnold. So,
Ooh.
Gabby, do you want to go first?
I do kind of. I mean, I will admit, although I did grow up a little bit with it, I didn't really watch Hey Arnold too much in particular when I was younger. It was later, probably around. I think it was probably around the end of high school for me.
Oh, so you discovered it around the same time as I did.
I already knew about it. I more than anything went back to it, having heard about how through rewatching it, people said that one could notice a whole lot of focus on Helga,
Mm-hmm.
which really interested me. So I began
Same,
watching a lot
same.
of the episodes.
As a guy who's had his crushes and kind of my issues with my own parents, I so related to Helga. I think she's easily one of the most relatable characters of the 90s Nicktoons, you know?
Oh, definitely. And it was such a change as far as like the the feminine main character who has an interest in another character, you know. Most of the time it was this really pretty girl um who was like really suave and really pretty, and she didn't say anything, but the guy was just head over heels
Right.
for her. And here we're seeing the exact opposite. You know, we have Arnold who's really chill, probably not even noticing Helga, at least to,
Except when
at least,
she gets mad at him, obviously.
yeah, like as far as we see, that's when he gets to notice her. And she's here, we get to see all of her quirks in their full dorky glory.
Mm-hmm. And in
From
some
the
ways
locket
too
she
much.
carries with her everywhere to the shrine that she keeps hidden in her closet.
Mm-hmm.
To me, she practices kissing when no one's looking.
Right.
Oh my god. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I'm going to admit, I actually considered giving myself the nickname Helga because of it. I just love the character so much, and I thought it was so cool. I was like, you know what? I will ironically call myself Helga now. Yes, I didn't do it. That would have been very awkward. But yes, I really love this character. It's just, mm,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yeah. I have a really soft spot for her.
Yeah. And as for the actual show itself, again, I heard about Hey Arnold when I was younger. I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me as a kid because it's like, okay, so you have this football-headed kid, and what does he do? I don't know. I guess the whole like the Bronx slice of life thing didn't appeal to me as a kid. When I got to high school, I just felt like watching the show just for the hell of it. And you know how I got my start watching Hey Arnold?
How?
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I watched the original Hey Arnold movie from.
I don't know. I thought that wasn't really too bad. It definitely wasn't very memorable, but
Yeah.
that's the main thing I remembered watching as a kid was the Hey Arnold movie. Which originally was supposed to be the Jungle movie.
And okay, like for the guys watching, if you want the quick and dirty take, I mean, the Jungle movie should have been the Hey Arnold movie. As a TV movie, it
Exactly.
works
That was
very,
like the whole
very
deal.
well. I mean, that's the ironic because here's the thing about the Hey Arnold, the original Hey Arnold movie, in my opinion. That honestly, the whole idea of here you have greedy businessman wants to turn the neighborhood into a mall. That's not really something, at least I consider, something that's big screen worthy. Now the Jungle movie, where it kind of, wraps up the show, tells us about Arnold's parents, I think that's very movie worthy,
Well, I mean, there was like a I would say a bit of a fad at the time with that, because you also had the Teacher's Pet. The Teacher's Pet had a movie that came out in theaters
Mm-hmm.
too. Um, the Rugrats. I think some of the Rugrats movies were coming out in
Yes, they
theaters.
made 3 movies, 2 good ones and 1 boring one, which was Rugrats Go
Yeah,
Wild.
so I guess they kind of just jumped on the bandwagon and said, "Hey, we'll do it too,"
Mm-hmm.
and then you get this film.
Yeah. It's weird. I always tell myself, if shows like Gravity Falls and Star came out in those days, not saying they necessarily need movies, but it's like, I think Disney would have thrown their team's chunk of change and said, go make a movie with these because we need to cash in on your fan bases.
I would be worried as to the quality of those films, though.
Yeah, especially like now, if it was nowadays, especially with how kind of clean and sort of corporate-y Disney can, at least their movies can get. Yeah, so.
And you best believe they're gonna be trying to put their hands in with a project that big in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to get as much freedom as the creators get nowadays, and for in that aspect. It's like, this isn't really something we're putting a lot of our money into. That's fine.
Yeah, but anyways, as for the Jungle movie itself, like I said, I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was great. I mean, it was pretty much everything I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's same.
If not a tiny bit more. I mean, I wasn't really in for it, interested in it for too much. I'm going to admit, I, I just really wanted to see Helga back and just see what goes on there, because I'd been just so caught up in their dynamic that I was just like, oh my gosh, it's all going to come full circle now.
Sort of.
Oh, but I just ended up getting so involved in the whole lore, as far as like the history of Arnold's parents. Um, so that was a great aspect too. Even the twists, even though they were really, really like cheaply played, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just so very fitting for the show, because you would expect something like that, because it's not a show that fully takes itself seriously, so that they're going to have a little fun with that kind of stuff, which I actually quite enjoy.
Because that's the thing that was kind of jarring, but at the same time enjoyable. Like, because here's the thing about, like, the Hey Arnold show itself, it's usually pretty, laid back, slice of life stuff, whereas the Jungle movie in itself actually works as a pretty good adventure movie.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And
I think that's one of the main appeals to the concept as well, is seeing our characters who have been, frequently put in these slice of life situations, something more out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and it was definitely exciting. The twists were, like, I honestly saw at least one big one coming. I'm not really sure if we want to spoil it, but I could just say I kind of knew from the second they were hinting at it, but I wasn't like, oh, come on, that's not. I was still like kind of shocked, but I did sort of see it coming.
Pretty much. Like it's they're going to be a little predictable, I suppose, but I kind of enjoy the predictability of it to an extent.
Right. And like,
which is not something I feel like I would say most often. So yeah.
And the interesting thing is that usually in the case of Hey Arnold, the episodes I like the most tend to be about Arnold's friends. Like, there were episodes about Harold, Phoebe, Helga, of course, and it's weird because they often portray Arnold as the everyman on the show, so he didn't like come off. He often came off to me as just sort of like the guy, the helpful guy, but I didn't find him at the most compelling character. But when it gets into his backstory, I'm pretty much in all the way, and same goes with this movie. I was honestly surprised how invested I got into Arnold's character. I guess I just felt really sorry that like he hadn't grown up with his parents for the majority of his life, and now he has probably his one chance to find them.
I feel for me, with my experience going through the episodes, I kind of got the idea that there was something to him, mainly because of just how willing he was to just jump into a situation and try to help.
Right.
Seeing as he was a young kid, and typically the response of a young kid would be, "Hey, I can't do anything. I'm a little kid."
Yeah, because when you're a kid, you
You
usually
just do it.
you're more focused on yourself rather than others.
And aside from that, just the fact that things seem a lot more daunting at that age, like you're so inexperienced, uh, and given the idea that you're very naive, and I mean probably one could be a very naive young kid, but yeah, we see Arnold always taking initiative. Um, like that, the Christmas episode, I feel like that's probably one of my favorite ones, if not my favorite one.
Yeah, that was a very nice
Um,
episode.
yeah, just seeing how far he went to find a to make Christmas for someone, and just seeing Helga just react to it, just be like, oh my gosh, you need something good too. Oh, what do I do though?
Yeah.
um, but from there, and then seeing, oh, all this time he had been very selfless, and at a young age, at a very young age, and then seeing finally it come out that, oh, he has this whole thing that he deals with too, and he hasn't really talked about it with other people. It was just kind of something that gave him like an entire different kind of like feel, I guess.
Yeah, because it's the
Yeah,
one time where the kind of neighborhood gets there to help Arnold after he has helped them.
yeah, and part of me was worried that he was going to be a little more self-centered
Ah,
in the
I
film,
wasn't
but
worried about that.
that didn't happen, which I'm really glad to see, because it could be really easy to write him that way and just be like he's super duper focused and just kind of like turning sour over the whole idea that he's getting the chance to get his to meet his parents. But
Nah,
no, I think
I
it just
honestly
played
can't
out
see
really
them
well.
doing that, especially since they have a lot of the original guys that worked on the show, including Craig Bartlett back on board. Yeah, I honestly can't even imagine Arnold being selfish. I mean, I know there were episodes like he wouldn't come out of his apartment because he lost his hat, but I honestly can't see them doing that, especially if this is supposed to be the kind of bow that kind of ties together the Hey Arnold series. You know.
No, yeah, but then that was one of the reasons why I was worried to see, like, after so much time has passed, and heck, the person in charge of writing could have had a completely different view of the movie than they did before.
hmm And interestingly,
You never know what could happen.
yeah, and interestingly enough, I've said I probably said this many times before. I'm usually not for chosen one kind of stories. I don't know. I just feel like how they say, "Oh, God, everybody has a purpose." So I often find chosen stories to be rather pretentious because it's like the chosen one, the one special person, and it's like, at least in my perspective, I'm like, I'm not that special. Everybody has a purpose. So whoop de doo. But I don't know. It's weird. The Hey Arnold is this movie, or I should say the series. It's one of the very few rare cases where I can actually get into that. And like I said, with a character who's supposed to be the everyman, not this like super like like complex or character. I honestly
Yeah,
don't
and
even.
the other thing is, even looking at the whole deal where the the concept of him being like a chosen child or like a miracle baby, because you even see in one of the episodes, one of the last episodes, I think it is the. I
I don't
wouldn't.
think the last
No, I
episode
don't
was
think it was the
Phoebe's
last
farting.
one, but the one where the grandpa um, reads the journal, and you hear about how Arnold was born. You're like, holy mother of pearl!
I don't. That was not like the last episode was the one where Phoebe farted in front of the whole
Oh,
school.
geez, that's a strange way to end.
Yeah, but I have seen that journal episode where it tells us about like how Arnold's parents met. They had a baby, and then their friend Eduardo comes back and says, "Hey, I need your guys' help," and they have to leave Arnold behind, and
Yeah, and even in the movie, like the whole deal with that aspect of him, it's never played off as in you need to go do what you gotta do. You were born to do this.
right. I get
It was more kind of like everything is being put into place. Everything is just coming to you. Take advantage and do that thing you've been wanting to do for so
yeah.
long, which I feel comes off so much better.
It comes off much more humble.
Yeah, and more in a sense empowering because it feels like, yeah, this is what I've wanted to do. The opportunity is there. It'd be ridiculous not to take it.
Right.
And, we just see Arnold do an awesome job of taking care of it, and, doing some awesome, crazy stuff.
I guess because
So,
the show is very easygoing and it portrays Arnold is helping as that's just what he does. I think because of that it really like gets me sucked into the idea that this very sort of casual character can has this very sad backstory and that he can be the chosen one. Rather than making a big
yeah, and even then I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say he was necessarily chosen for anything in specific. It seems more like, the people, okay, if we're gonna get into deets, like the green eyed people who had been following around and even got to see him be born, just kind of saw him and see, like, hey, he's with these people. We love these people. These people are awesome. They've helped us. You know what? We're gonna keep him in mind if something goes on.
right.
Which I feel is just kind of like, okay, that I could definitely see, and being taken in their way, like out of proportion, where it like becomes this like whole prophecy dealio whatnot, which is honestly how I think these kinds of things do happen more than any kind of just like mystical sort of power. I mean, you could call it coincidence, I suppose, but just kind of things sort of come together to come up with this story. Not necessarily like some strange out of the blue occurrence puts everything into place.
Right. So.
So, yeah, I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it.
What else can we get into? Are we gonna have to get into
I
spoiler
would
territory?
Can we?
Yeah.
Because I really want to talk about all the stuff that happened.
So just so you guys know, if you have not seen the Jungle movie, you may want to stop right now and go see it and then come back. So if you're gone, you're still here. Okay, let's get into the spoilers.
Spoiler time!
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I freaking love. Oh my gosh, so many scenes that I love. Where do we even begin? I can't even. Oh.
Well, maybe let's
Okay.
talk about like the one like twist in the middle that we predicted it, but it's not.
Are we talking? Are we talking about La Sombra?
Where this guy who
Oh
claims.
my god! I was laughing. I was just like, yes, because mustache equals disguise.
Really? I don't know, cause like I kind of knew, cause you know how they show like his fist, like they show like after Arnold wins the contest that he sets up, he like has him on camera, and you see like his hand. I'm just like, I actually thought there is no Eduardo. It's just La Sombra and that he kidnapped the parents.
Oh, I didn't go that far because I thought that would have been really trippy. Like I couldn't really see that working out, but definitely I thought, hey, something's off about this guy. I'm
And
wondering
they
if
even
he's
like
not
go into like
really
his house and
Eduardo.
he's not there. Remember?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one can't really tell what that means though, because it's been so long. It could have just been that somebody else had lived there and left under some strange circumstances when this guy had already been living somewhere else for like several years.
Yeah.
Or he really did get chased out or something, but he was still going around.
It's weird though, because like his door is
Um,
open. There was like a picture that was ripped. I honestly thought he got kidnapped or something horrible happened.
yeah, it's definitely played off that
Mm-hmm.
way. Um, I think the real giveaway for me was the part when the boat they were on gets like attacked,
Yeah.
and part of me felt, hey, I think these aren't supposed to be the good guys.
Really? Like, I honestly fell for it.
Really, I was just kind of like, no, something smells fishy about this, and Eduardo had already been acting really fishy. Like I don't know if it was just the voice acting that kind of I was just like, hey, something's wrong
Mm-hmm.
here, or the fact that Eduardo was in a sense starting to pull Arnold away from his friends. That was
Yeah.
also kind of like, I don't like
Mm-hmm.
you. I don't like you. And then it dawned on me. It was like, oh, the mustache could be fake.
Wow. Oh.
But that was like right after that point, and then I'm like, oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Was just waiting for that moment. And
Yeah.
then I loved how he did the thing where he's like, see, Eduardo, that's him. Eduardo, that's him. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god. That was probably one of my favorite
I
lessons.
should have went into this movie with sort of Bond villain logic of it's just one simple disguise, a mustache.
And
But
it's strange because it works really well too. Because I mean, he looks like an older version of Eduardo, so
mhm,
you're like, yeah,
pretty much picture.
yeah,
In
sure.
fact, when Eduardo does show up towards the end of the movie, the only difference is that the voice sounds a little different and that he's wearing different clothes. Like I honestly, for a
And he doesn't look as old. He does not look as old.
right, mm, I guess I'm just bad at telling the difference.
I don't know, like stuff like that stands out to me for some reason.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. And, uh, 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 the scene on the bridge.
I
Oh.
gotta say, Lasombra's a legitimately threatening kind of guy, you know?
I couldn't control myself. I really couldn't. It was amazing.
Was it like when I react to a Star episode bad? Jeez, I mean, don't get me wrong, that scene was crazy, but it's just like,
I don't know. It's the whole deal. I was just seeing how freaking adorable and awkward they are. I'm just like, no.
wait, are we talking about
I don't know. I have a soft spot for dorks. I'm sorry.
adorable? Are we talking about the scene where Lasombra is forcing Arnold to go across the bridge to?
No, wait. I don't remember. I might be thinking of the wrong part. No. Oh my god. Okay, I remember when it happens now. It's the kiss. The kiss.
Are you talking about the ending?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is how bad my memory is, but oh my god, I just.
I gotta be honest though. Like the fact that like Arnold like kisses Helga on the lips, I'm just like, I think Arnold always knew like Helga had a crush on him. Like there was that episode Married where Arnold has that dream of living with Helga, and Helga in the dream says, you know, hey, I might act mean, but I have a soft spot and even deeper feelings. And just... Have you ever seen that episode?
Helga tries to like, I think she tries to pose as someone
The
else.
Valentine's episode.
Yes! And then the ending when they're on the steps and he's like, no, I already like someone. No, like,
Oh my god, Gabby.
I'm sorry. I just really love their dynamic.
I know, I do
can't.
too, but I'm just like,
Oh, I'm nearly crying, guys. This is.
oh my god. Am I like this when I react to like Starco?
I don't know. I don't know. So I was really happy to see that. And then when it's like, when she's like, oh, I may have something that can help when they're trying to, when it's like the corazon gets lost and all that, I'm like, the locket's in the shape of a heart. And it has gold. Yes.
I have to say this, as much as I really liked how like it takes Helga's heart-shaped locket to, spread the cure that cures the sleeping. So it's not just any heart-shaped object of that size, right?
There was just pure coincidence that it just happened to like fit.
So if I had one of the inventor's heart-shaped cookies from Edward Scissorhands, and if I just plopped it in there, it would have worked just as well.
Maybe. I think it depends partially on the material it would be made out of because, I mean, it's in the middle of a bunch of rock. So I think a cookie might get crumbled.
Shit. But Helga did say, oh hey, I have this here, and it's made of gold, right?
But she's like, it's not pure. It's only gold plated, but I hope it can help. And he's like, I think your heart is purer than you give it credit. I just love that line. It was, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, I got feels too.
I don't know why I got like this, but it's just so adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm done.
But yeah, that was kind of weird to me. But at least it came from Helga, so technically it was destiny. Do you think they thought about that when they wrote the episode where Helga gets the locket, or was it just when they were writing this movie they were like, "Hey, Helga has the locket; she could use that."
I feel partially it would have to do with when they had that story of Arnold in mind, because as far as how the show starts off, there's really no connection to some sort of origin story.
Right.
So it could have been like this guy thinks over time and he's like, oh, well, we have this thing that's happened now, that thing that's happened now. We can kind of mesh them into this cool story in this crazy way. But there's also the possibility that the creator just had this origin story in mind and said, you know what, this is going to be specifically for that.
Yeah.
I've personally not heard of them saying whether that was the case or not, but
I don't know. I kind of doubt it. Like, I think it may have been just the idea that, hey, we have, this locket and it could help.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, it was already kind of like a lot of the details of the story were already out in the open before the movie was even really kind of being expected to come out. Like, that was the main thing. Like, everybody knew, hey, the truth about him and Helga is supposed to come out. There's gonna be big reveals and just a lot of character development. And a lot of people went so far as to say, yes, Helga and Arnold are gonna kiss in this freaking movie, and they're gonna get together.
They already technically kissed,
Oh, I know, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count,
right?
Because it was one-sided. So it's like, what?
But yeah, this time it's legit. Although, granted, in the end, it's not that Arnold and Helga necessarily get together per se, right? Do you think it's just that?
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to keep in mind that any relationship between people of that nature, like I'm just saying, looking at how Arnold is and looking at how Helga is, it's going to be very unconventional.
Yeah.
And heck, we even see that their friends who are just kind of like, yeah, you guys, they're a thing too. Don't forget that.
You're talking about Phoebe and Gerald?
They act cool, they act normal, they hold hands and they walk down, and then, Arnold's like, hey, let's do the thing, and she's just like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel more than anything, it's not necessarily that, oh, hey, I don't consider us a thing. I really don't think it's that. I feel more than anything is that we gotta remember that Helga's not used to signs of affection. She's not. She's grown up pretty much her entire life with her parents just not caring about her at all. A level of neglect.
Mm-hmm.
And extreme pampering and looking over her sister.
Believe me, I sort of lived that kind of a life. Not to that extent, but kind of close.
Yeah, I'm dang. And the other thing talking about that I really liked seeing is how they didn't want to play off the sister, I guess, the same way that they had in the show. Because when you look at the show, the sister was just kind of like in her own little world.
Right.
Not really worried about anything. Just kind of like, oh, okay, mom, dad, I gotta go do this. Bye. But in the movie, you kind of see her, she's like, baby sister! No!
Olga's kind of been like that. When every time she comes home, she always, like, kind of, coos Helga and things like that.
I don't know, but I mean, point being that even then, like, Helga's just like, okay, fine. Physical signs of affection are just not a thing.
Yeah. But I always just felt it was because it was Olga,
Because it was
Because
what?
it was Olga. It's like, her perfect sister comes home. Oh, great. Hey, she's gonna come.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, even if this person has no malice towards you, you seeing that, you're gonna get pissed at them. You're gonna be like, screw you! Why do you get all this stuff?
Right.
I mean, I won't say I've had that kind of sentiment. I've definitely been in a position where I could have been in that sentiment. I am a younger sibling. However, I have to take care of an older sibling because of special needs. He's blind. He's got like other stuff going on too. So I'm usually taking care of it and taking the role of the older sibling most times.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's kind of like I've had those moments where I guess I've been tempted to be like, hey, why is he getting a bunch of attention? And I stop and think it's like, oh, okay, he really can't do anything. But I mean, I definitely know seeing that, wanting to question it and just being like, hey, this isn't fair. Like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Everything's supposed to be fair and equal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say I'm pretty lucky in the sense that I did get quite a bit of attention myself too, like a decent amount of attention. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I'm spoiled. Nah. I mean, I kind of am, mainly because I get bought stuff, but I try to buy my own stuff. Anyway, it's just kind of like that idea that, it's really easy to just grow a hateful sentiment towards someone who's just extremely lucky in your eyes.
Yeah.
In that sense,
I kind of grew up in a similar sense too. Like, my sister was the one who was getting like the good grades and dressing nice and was kind of, I don't want to say build the ball, but I always kind of felt like if I got in trouble for something, she would get lesser a punishment, and that actually kind of hurt my relationship with her. It wasn't until like I became a teenager and became a little more selfless, that I got in a my relationship with my sis got better. So I've been in that boat, as well.
I have to admit I was kind of in a different boat, sort of. When I was younger, I actually took the role of the older sibling, and I'd be like, "I have power. I will do this. You listen to me."
Jeez.
My brother would sometimes talk to people. Like he used to talk with people who worked with
Mm-hmm.
him, and he would tell them, "Oh, my sister, she grounded me."
Gabby.
So I would say stuff like that. I'd be like, "You're grounded. Don't do this and this and this for that long." And I'm just kind of like, "Yeah, a bit of a jerk."
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been completely in that boat, but I definitely have a bit of an idea of what that's like. Tiny, tiny.
Yeah, that's another aspect of the original series I really liked.
Oh, definitely. Or the whole implications too with their mom and the smoothies.
Yeah, which, by the way, I have to bring
Smoothies.
this up. I mean, I know not too many people use pagers anymore for obvious reasons, but are the Patakis actually living in Big Bob's beeper store in this special?
I don't
Like,
know.
I kind of felt, was the joke that they went broke because nobody uses beepers anymore, so now they have to live in that store?
I thought that was pointed out at some point somewhere. I think maybe the movie,
Not in the, I don't know it. Not in the
like
Jungle
the
movie.
Hey Arnold movie, like the first
No, I
movie.
don't think it was.
No, yeah, cause like Helga's all like, cause that's even like her dad's even trying to go into a different business because he's seeing how bad the beeper business is going.
I mean, I know there was that episode where Bob has that sort of midlife crisis, and he tries to become kind of like a hippie, and he tries to take the whole family with him.
No, 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 no. In the movie, like the whole deal with the reconstruction and all of that, the Helga's dad is like involved in that.
Oh, yeah, but it's like, does it directly influence why they seem to be living in the beeper store now?
Because if I remember correctly, that was the whole deal. Like he's like, if I don't do this, then we're not gonna have money, and they didn't end up doing it.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think I remembered that, but it was such, I don't want to say insignificant, but that was like, I remember that scene, but it's like, jeez. And I just felt like, if that were the case, how come they didn't end up living in the store in the TV show itself? Because the movie came out when the show was still around, right?
I have absolutely no idea. No
Let's
idea.
see, Nickelodeon series is the same name. When did Hey Arnold end? It ended, yeah, it came out, the movie came out in 2002, and the series ended in 2004.
Also went on for another 2 years.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be a result. I always just felt like, oh, that's kind of the joke that now everybody uses smartphones, and truth be told, I know somebody who still uses a pager.
Oh my goodness. That is rare. That is really rare.
Yeah, I won't say who he is, but let's just say you know who he is, Gabby.
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. That's something for you to figure
Okay.
out.
We can leave it
But
at
yeah,
that.
I
That's
just felt that was kind of the joke that oh, now everybody uses smartphones, so now they have to live.
I mean, Helga even says it. She's like, nobody uses pagers anymore, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Ever heard of a cell phone? I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, dang. There's the fact that she calls her dad by his name.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, wow. The
Dang.
salt is very
Same with her
real.
mom.
Yeah, but I think she finds her more just kind of like helpless, just kind of like, okay, you can't even do
Mm-hmm.
anything. I don't
Helpless,
care.
but but had a lot of potential. I mean, don't you remember
I
Gabby?
suppose. I don't really
Because like
know.
there were like episodes where the mom, I believe her name was Miriam, like she ran the beeper store. She said she used to be like an Olympic swimmer, and that there was that one time she rode on that mechanical cow and was like rocking around and got a ton of
I
money.
think I kind of remember that, but I don't remember her thinking much about it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just felt like Miriam hit some kind of a slump,
Yeah, definitely. I think it was part of the whole deal of like becoming a housewife type dealio. It's like settling down and taking care of the kids.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Gabby, do you have any lights in your room?
I do. I need to
Yeah.
turn it on.
There we go. So yeah, is there anything else we could talk about? Like we talked about the Sombra. What about the actual like ending of the film? Where should we talk about the parents?
I guess so. That was, I don't know. I felt really awkward about that.
Really?
I'm just kind of like, okay, you're here. Hi.
I did feel a tad awkward, but at the same time, I thought it was sweet.
I do, and I mean, like, I agree. Sorry, but I don't know. It was just so. I don't know. I felt like it's not something you see very often. Like it's a legit happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like, huh? Why am I okay with this?
Jeez, you don't want Arnold to get back with his family?
I do. It's not that. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
But the thing for me was like, how did this get played off so well? Like, I mean, I was prepared to like the ending.
Where it seemed like, oh, it was all a dream.
Even if to do some sort of sad, kind of like half thing going on, you know what I mean? Where like he still gets up taking something out of it, but it's not really what he had expected.
I honestly thought that what was I gonna say? It was gonna be like, oh, now I figured this out, I think your mom's.
No. Thank you.
Hello.
Money.
Hi.
What was that?
Love you. I will. That's my mom. Okay, where were we?
Talking about the awkward reunion.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I was just kind of like, whoa, these guys are really awkward. Where it's like the whole deal with they're like there and they're like, yeah, we're here. We're making breakfast.
Oh, that part. Yeah, that was. I just saw it as they're readjusting to American society. I know it takes time. I just kind of left it at that.
No, it's like then you go and they walk him to school, which I'm like, oh, okay, they're walking him to school, and they're like, we'll be right here waiting. I'm like, wait, you're gonna stand in front of the exit of the school for the whole day?
Yeah, I'm just like, you
What?
can't fucking be serious.
And then I guess it kind of like worked for me in a sense where it's like, oh, okay, they just want to reassure Arnold that, he's not going to lose them and that they're actually here and he's got his parents now. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's all like, oh, they really care about their baby boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, granted, it's been years since, they saw, the last time they saw Arnold was when he was a baby,
Yeah, I know. Like 1 year old, I think.
How long did they say that, the whole sleeping sickness issue was going on like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, but then also with the whole journal thing, it talks about how like they had already been there for his like first birthday, like when he turned one. And then shortly after, Eduardo comes to them. He's like, "Oh, we need another, huh?"
Which, by the way, speaking of age continuity, they're in the 4th grade. How are they in the 6th grade at the end of the movie? Shouldn't they be in the 5th grade?
Magic!
Like, what, does the ending scene take place 2 years later?
I don't know.
I just hope Arnold and Gerald don't get back with those 2 chicks from the 6th grade girls episode. Yeah, that didn't work out too well, did it?
I don't even know.
I don't know. Did they just forgot to change it from 6th to 5th grade?
I thought it originally had been like they were in 6th grade because a lot of people drew them when they were about to go to middle school.
They're in 4th grade.
Jeez.
You forgot?
Well, I didn't actually get to see that established. I don't think.
Okay.
It might just be another case of having really bad memory.
But it's pretty well established that they're in the 4th grade. So how are they in the 6th at the end of the movie?
I do not know.
Yeah, me neither. So, but aside from that, I guess is there anything else? I feel like we've pretty much covered our bases.
I feel like we're forgetting something. But what?
I mean, we kind of touched on La Sombra, and then there was the parents, the you know what. I'm not going to bring that up again, and you start our fangirling and.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess your OTP is Arnolga, and my OTP is Starco.
I think it's the closest I've ever really gotten to having an OTP.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm chill.
But it's just like, I honestly think we've covered pretty much. I will say, the other thing I thought was kind of weird was in the middle, when they get captured by La Sombra, I didn't get why everybody got mad at Arnold. It's like, I could understand if they got...
Okay, because one, the main reason everyone was trying to get that trip was for Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he had been really secretive, and they're used to Arnold being really open and really outward about what's going on. Aside from like probably the whole deal with his parents, which at that point was already out.
Right.
So even there, they couldn't really see that. And the fact that he was just kind of like being pulled away again by the La Sombra. So it kind of seemed like he was just detaching himself from them, and in a sense seeming like he didn't care. And plus the fact that Sombra kind of put the whole situation in a light that put Arnold kind of like as a selfish person.
Right.
They were just kind of like, dude, why? That's not cool at all, man. Mm-hmm. But even then, they seem pretty conflicted about it. I mean, in the middle of it, you can hear one of the guys crying, I miss Arnold!
Harold, yeah, he goes from punching a broom that looks like Arnold to, I miss Arnold! Which, by the way, I should mention this. I don't know, I wouldn't call it a criticism. This is kind of more of a quibble. Did you think it's weird that the side characters are mainly there just to be side characters?
No, because I thought that's what the whole deal was.
It works in the context. I just find it weird because we got episodes dedicated to like Harold, Rhonda, Sid, and even Curly.
I mean, I will admit, I did expect them to be more involved, but seeing it all, I felt like they were involved enough to actually.
Right. And to be fair, it
Yeah.
is an entire class. You can't really, unless you want your movie to be like 6 hours and have a mini series to follow it, you can't really get into them as much. So,
Plus, ultimately, the ones getting into the real heavy stuff is usually the trio, you know? So, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's
yeah.
the three caballeros!
Yeah. I guess it makes sense. I guess I just felt it was weird because, again, we had episodes dedicated to these guys, so.
True. That's not to be ignored. I just kind of felt it normal.
Yeah. So, aside from that, I think.
Again, to add on to the whole deal as to why they got mad at Arnold. I think more than anyone, Helga was in a very, very clear position to be upset with Arnold.
Definitely.
You know, after going so far and just finally getting it all out and just being there to actually try and listen to him have a response, and then him just kind of be like, what? And just like her heart just...
Yep.
I really liked how that one guy that's always following her kind of actually went into the water and picked everything up despite it. And I'm just like, you're the real MVP.
Yeah. God bless you, Brainy.
And then he gives it back to her and all that. I was just like, why are you so cool? Yeah. Okay, now I think that's everything.
Yep, pretty much covered the bases. It was a pretty good movie. I'm excited to see, even though, it won't be the same team working on them, I'm excited to see the other Nickelodeon movies coming out. They're supposed to be doing a Rocko's Modern Life movie and the Invader Zim.
And I know Ricky Simmons was personally telling us how how they were almost through with most of it.
Yeah,
and,
Ricky Simmons, in case you guys don't know, he's the guy who voices Gur. He said that the Invader Zim movie should be out summer 2018.
Mark your calendars, guys.
Just draw a big circle around June, July, August, and put the Urkin Army symbol there.
Yes, because I'm not good with words.
Yeah. And the Rocko's Modern Life movie, I'm not really sure when that's coming out. Maybe 2018, something like that.
I haven't really heard much about the Rocko's Modern Life one.
I will say, though, to kind of end on my thoughts on Nickelodeon as a whole, because of the 3 cartoon channels I watch Nickelodeon, honestly, the least, only because
I could probably say the same.
Yeah, only because I'm not a big SpongeBob fan. The Loud House, while I think it's good, I honestly don't like it nearly as much as the Cartoon Network and Disney XD. So sorry, yeah, that's just my
bits and pieces for me that I really like about the Loud House, and even then, I'm at this point way less, likely to watch the show.
Dang.
For obvious reasons.
But yeah, I'm just saying, Nickelodeon, you gotta get some really good shows out there. I mean, it's good that you're making these movies, but you can't just rely on your past, especially for newer kids. I'm honestly not really sure how many 8-year-olds know who Arnold is or know who Zim is.
No, I don't think so. I feel like over time, the ones that really stood out, probably Cartoon Network shows. You still find a few kids at least knowing about, Dexter or Samurai Jack.
Yeah. Well, the reason...
Powerpuff Girls. Definitely Powerpuff Girls. I think that's one of the main ones that stood out. I mean, I think the main show Nickelodeon has, and I think this is clear, I don't think there's any question about it, is SpongeBob. Because everybody knows SpongeBob.
Yeah, but for better or for worse. I mean, I know I've heard the newer SpongeBob episodes are getting better, but the ones in recent years have been pretty bad, and the only reason Nickelodeon keeps it is because it still brings in so much money. So yeah,
I can remember watching a few other Nickelodeon shows, mainly The Fairly Odd Parents.
which yeah, I've heard the Fairly Odd Parents also kind of just fell off.
I stopped right after they introduced Poof. From there, I have not watched a recent episode of The Fairly Odd
I just feel like
Parents.
Nickelodeon's shows just feel extremely like dated. You know what I mean? Compared to like Cartoon Network and
Kind
Disney
of,
XDs.
yeah, they feel a little old school, which I personally enjoy, but
I don't know. I guess I just kind of
kids
moved
like
on
new stuff.
from
They
that.
like, they like new stuff. You know?
So yeah, I'm just hoping that like by showing these movies, I'm not necessarily saying reboot Zim or Hey Arnold. I'm just saying hopefully Nickelodeon comes out with more quality shows down the line.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think like they've really stood out from any other shows pretty much after Invader Zim.
Avatar.
Okay, yeah, Avatar too, but even then I feel like that wasn't necessarily in the same way as, I guess we're talking about, cuz Avatar, I feel more like it's not necessarily that one could really grow up with. You kind of already have to be a little grown up in order to really look at it. I know I really didn't have that experience with it. I just kind of stared at it and be like, cute animals!
I don't
Okay,
know,
bye.
because it's like I first saw Avatar when I was like 10 years old, and I was able to get into it. I think it helped that like I have a dad who's like very analytical, and that was kind of the first time I got into like maybe not the first I got into like theories, but it was the first time that I kind of at least heard that you can dig into these shows rather deeply.
Yeah, no, but I'm here trying to talk about stuff that you could necessarily say, hey, like this is like childhood, like I was in diapers and I was pumped about this stuff.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Although, granted, it's weird though. A little trivia about me. You want to know why my mom wouldn't let me watch much Rugrats when I was younger?
What?
She didn't like the way they talked.
What?
They're babies, not the Sopranos. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Am I gonna walk into elementary school talking like that? I probably can't even quote the characters in Rugrats. But yeah.
I guess though I think you're beginning to point out a lot of good shows though, but they were really, really old.
Yeah. And honestly, it doesn't really make sense for Nick to reboot them. It's just, I guess I'm trying to say, like, if you look at, like, Disney XD, for example, like, I mean, obviously Disney XD didn't exist when we were kids. I mean, I'm talking about, like, Disney shows in general, where you had, like, the Kim Possibles, and yes, they rebooted DuckTales, but, they had great shows like Kim Possible, Tailspin, and so forth. And nowadays, they only rebooted one, but we got, but now Disney XD has, at least in recent years, has some really good shows, original stuff like,
Disney XD, bring back Darkwing Duck, please.
I have a feeling they might. Or bring back Wander Over Yonder. My sister wants more Wander episodes. Eric is coming into your room.
Oh, hi, Eric.
Hi.
Eric, do you see what I'm doing? Oh, wait. Do you hear what I'm doing? Do you hear someone else on my computer?
Yes, I hear that you're pretty
Okay, do you think that I'm done?
You'll never be
No, I'm not done. I will be done, but you need to be patient.
Okay. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to sort of point that out because I don't get to talk about the cartoon channels as much as I'd like. If you guys want to hear my thoughts, I have a video on Cartoon Network's Thanksgiving schedule on the Blood Moon Bobby YouTube channel, and you can also also check out my Tumblr if you want to hear about my thoughts on Disney XD.
Yes, and you know I can talk about Cartoon Network for ages.
Yeah. I still have never made that Christina Miller and Vishnu thank you come again video.
Come again.
Yeah. I mean, not to get racist, but it's just like, Vishnu, you're not a very good scheduler. In fact, like, a lot of people say he's responsible for the Teen Titans Go oversaturation. But
It doesn't even necessarily even have to be that bad. The show's kind of funny. Like, I can laugh at it. I know not everyone can, but I can laugh at it.
I just honestly wish they did. It wasn't like, you know how like this weekend, literally
Everything. And you have so many shows to rerun. You've got OKKO to, you know, to work off of. You know, you got Amazing World of Gumball. And, I mean, they have been working a bit off of that, but still. Do you know how much, like, for example, Adventure Time. Do you know how much Adventure Time there is? There's a lot of Adventure Time.
And they only air it when there's new episodes.
Oddly enough, though, I've noticed, and I don't know if this is like a common thing, or it's just a general opinion of the younger generations, but I've heard some people talking about how kids have been like kind of not interested in Adventure Time. I'm not sure what the deal is, but
I honestly associate Adventure Time with more like of an older audience.
I do too, but I felt like at least at the beginning, you know, with the earlier episodes, there was some sort of appeal of that most kids would be like, yeah, you know, but
yeah,
I don't know. Or regular show. Let's bring back regular
they
show.
They have
guys.
For a couple instances, but it's not like they rerun it, you know, every week.
You know that's not what I mean.
Right.
Instead, no, we get Teen Titans Go.
Yeah. And no, in case you guys are wondering, I am not going to watch that 200th episode. I just know it's just ratings bait, you know.
What the heck is it supposed to be about anyway?
You ready for this? They go into the real world and meet their animators and actors and producers.
I'm sorry, but I would actually watch that.
I'm just really not a fan of, like, whenever Teen Titans Go addresses their critics. I mean, there's a way to do it, but, like, not make dedicated.
I don't even think that sounds like that necessarily. It makes me think more of, like, Chowder. Or there's even that instance where they're like, oh no, we're running out of money. That means we don't have any money to be animated.
Even then, like, isn't that more of a subtle kind of joke? I mean, I know it's not super subtle, but at least it's not. We're actually.
And they've always. I mean, Chowder had a reputation of breaking the fourth wall. Like, that was part of its deal.
Seriously?
But
Moon. You guys see it? Like,
your screen is just like, oh, there you go. That's like how I draw hair. That's lovely.
Like, but I'm not gonna get over that, am I? It's just like,
no, you need to show River's face.
Oh. It's not him being super scary, it's just...
That's not the face.
No, it's not, but it's, you know, just part of the same frame, you know?
No. No, I meant the face.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't find it.
Okay, alright. Did we need to talk about anything else? I think we went off.
Now I'm fanboying. Look at this comic. Can you see it?
I can't see. It's a bright screen.
Can you see it now?
Oh, they so
Nah,
cute.
nah, 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 nah.
They're
Keep-
pushing up to each other.
But keep watching. Look what they're gonna do at the end. Look what Tom does at the end. Yeah, I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
turn
gosh.
this into a Starco mindfuck. But
Get that rage out. Was that a pinata?
yes, it's a pinata of Marco's heart.
Get that anger out, Tom. Get that anger out.
But yeah. God, we're going off on such a tangent. We were talking about Hey Arnold, and it somehow led us back to Starco. And Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans Go.
But yeah, I'm gonna call it. So we've covered pretty much everything we could on the Hey Arnold Jungle movie, right?
Indeed.
Yep. Like I said, if you guys want to hear more of my thoughts on Cartoon Network schedule, go watch the schedule video. I'll probably have that put at the end of the video here. So, yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for us, Gabby. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And don't fret over Arnold too much now.
I'll try not to.
Okay, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.